worked to get the 1947 Edison stamp approved. And this was a major project in Milan that year, and it was the work from the U.S. Postal Stamp honoring Edison. As a young lady, Jeanette was on that committee. In 1984, Jeanette, 1947? Yeah. In 1984, Jeanette was working with the Milan Garden Club in promoting the young Edison sculpture that you see in our town square. In 1993, we had a Herculean job of keeping the lights on at the Edison birthplace to keep the thing going. In 1997, we celebrated the 150th anniversary and the birth of Edison, and our major celebration that year was also to benefit the Edison birthplace. And then in 2006, we finally finished the commemorative U.S. Mint silver dollar, honoring Edison for the 125th anniversary of the light. And we've stuck together, you know, since 2009, you know, with getting him to Washington. So here's Jeanette.
Thank you, Bob. 4 years ago, this was a dream. Tonight, it's a reality. He is going to Washington. There's something I would like to do, and I'm going to ask you to help me do it. I'd like you to turn to the person on your right, pat them on the back, and say, "Good job." So 4 years ago, Don and I stood here, and we told you about this vacancy coming up in Statuary Hall, and that Edison would be the ideal person to represent Ohio. And after I sat down, this nice-looking young man taps me on the shoulder and says, "I'm Mark Wagoner, and I'm on that committee." Well, I don't let a good opportunity go to waste. So I asked him for his card, and I think I probably called him before he even got home and said, "I think it would be nice to have your committee come and see what Milan is about." So we planned it, and August 7th of that year, same year, we entertained his committee. And I think they were quite impressed with Milan. We did a good job. You all helped. Give your another pat on the back for that one. Okay. Anyway, I formed a close friendship with Mark. I found him to be a very dependable person. He had high ideals, and we just became good friends, and he helped me with the Milan Day that we had here that was very successful. We had beautiful weather, and everything was just fine. The Garden Club, again, helped out a lot that day. The Garden Club, I wanted to tell you that the birdhouses and the banks were fundraisers for the Milan Garden Club for the statue that's in the park. So they're really extra special. Now, this is the highlight of my life. I am so happy to see this happening with Edison. He's always been my personal hero. And it is an extreme pleasure for me. Mark, will you come up? Okay. One of Mark's favorite sayings is, "Doing the right thing is not always easy." Think of that. Doing the right thing is not always easy. And he certainly found that out. So I'm honored to present this award to him from the village of Milan, and I want the whole world to know that he is our hero. Oh, this is the wood from...
That's a special wood. I saved
that from Citizen of the Year 2013, Mark Wagoner. Save the best for last.
Thank you, Jeanette, and thank you to everybody. This really is a special night. And Don, when I saw my old yard sign up there with Mark Wagoner, I, for a second, thought this was a picture of me when the Edison statue was finally done. Because the whole story started about 5 years ago when the bill was passed, and I got a phone call on a Friday afternoon for Bill Harris, who was then the president of the Senate. And I was a newly appointed senator. And the president called and said, hey, you're the new guy. We have this commission, and you're going to chair it, and we need to pick a selection to replace Governor William Allen. Well, I thought, how hard can this be? Plus, he's the president, so my answer was yes. And I agreed to do it. Well, now 5 years later, we're here. But what's really special is the process that we went through. This was really bigger than Milan. Milan had a big role to play in this, but the process that we set up was really important. What we did is we had hearings all around the state. We started with Milan, and we had a wonderful time here with the band and the perfect weather, and I think Mayor Bickley had the motorcade that brought everybody in. But we had hearings all around the state. We had hearings down in southern Ohio to learn about General Grant. We had Jesse Owens' family all come back to Columbus and do something at the Ohio Stadium. We had trips in a bunch of different places and learned a lot about this great state and really turned it into a debate about Ohio history. And like every debate, there's always disagreement, there's always some bumps, but what's great is that Edison was the #1 pick of the committee, and he was also, Thomas Edison was the #1 pick of the committee, and also the #1 pick of the popular vote in Ohio. And I really think that says a lot. A lot of people I want to thank. Kristen Strobel, who really was the brains behind the operation. Kristen handled all the phone calls and all the work that had to get done. So Kristen, thank you very much. And Donna Pusecker, my boss, who was wonderful. She would let me out for lunch once in a while down in the Senate, but also kept us moving forward. And I also want to recognize Doug McDonald, who was a great partner as we worked through this whole process. And Doug, thank you for your time and your commitment and your effort and your leadership. It's been a real joy getting to know you and the wonderful job you do down at the Cincinnati Museum Center. I also want to recognize Randy Gardner, who I gave a ride here today. Now I'm a constituent. Part of my responsibility is making sure my senator gets to where he needs to go. So,
Keep
Randy,
that up, will you?
I'll keep that up. And to Terry Bose, Terry played a big part in helping us get this through the legislature as well. And finally, I want to thank all of you, Jeanette and Don and everybody, Mayor Braley, Robert, where's Robert? Robert, all of your enthusiasm and your energy and your commitment to Thomas Edison really carried the day. And it wasn't one person who made this decision, it was the state of Ohio who made this decision. Now we've got to figure out a way to pay for it, but today was a good way to do that, and we're going to continue to work on that. And as I leave sort of public life, and I'm back now coaching Little League Baseball and spending a lot more time at hockey rinks and trying to make some down payments in the college fund, may not be around as much. But you have all been so great to work with in my time in the state Senate. You have become great friends, but you're great people. And the time I walked door to door through Milan, I got a chance to really know the community. And this really is the backbone of America. These are the values, these are the people, this is the effort, and this is the industry that makes this country great. And I won't be here as much to see you every day, but know that in my heart, Milan always holds a very dear place. And this is an honor that I will cherish forever. So thank you very much.